guys, so if you're new to this club and you have no idea what I do here, basically I am a senior, I am a history major. More specifically, I am a bizarre history major. More specifically than that, I am a bizarre Asian history major. So, I specialize in just basically trawling the depths of whatever information I might find, whether that be books, internet, deep web. Don't ask.
He's also the prodigal son of Anime Club.
I am. So I am here to bring you the information that I have learned. And largely, I have noticed a couple of different things. The first is that even the most mundane things in Japan, like the temple, can become really bizarre. So these very majestic temples, you're like, wow, this are just like some of the grandest things in Japanese culture, and they are. But like everything else, Japan can take very simple ideas like the family restaurant and turn it into something really bizarre. This guy knows exactly what I'm talking about. It's this. This is the toilet restaurant. I've shown this before, and there are several of them. There isn't just one. And this is by far not even the most strange thing I've seen. Not even in the ballpark. This is like way out in the parking lot behind second base. Not even close.
Talk about the vending machines over there.
We're operating by rule WTF. If it exists, it can be made really, really weird. So,
Vending machines.
first of all, I'm going to be introducing this. This is the WTF-o-meter. And I will be using it several times throughout the course of our meetings. So we start off right there. So this is Go-O Temple. As far as things go, it looks pretty straightforward, except for these. Those are wild boar statues. This entire temple is dedicated to wild boar. So the way the legend goes is the guy who built this temple was in a lot of trouble. He had assassins on him, and they had critically injured him. And a herd of 300 wild boar picked them up and bore him to safety. That was totally unintentional. So he dedicated this temple to them. And they're everywhere. So oddly enough, this is also a place where you go to have your feet and legs healed. So, totally unrelated thing that somehow got associated with this temple, and nobody has any idea why. And also completely unrelated, the temple was recently remodeled, and they got a really badass set of stairs that looks like frozen ice. So they hired some artist, and he decided that, you know what, they said the temple needs renovating. What can I do? I'll do the fucking stairs. That's it. So, next, going a little bit higher, we have this thing. This is Ryukai. It's one of the newest temples, as you can see by its grand iron and glass design. And it is the temple of a cult called the Inner Trip Ryukai, which is the best name for a cult ever, because they probably do a lot of this.
Sign me up.
So, yeah, it's oddly a center of learning. They will teach you Japanese there for free. So you go in, and the downside is most of the people there don't speak English. So good luck with that. And something that nobody has managed to explain is they have lots of water in this place. 400 tons of water, to be precise. And it is for some unspecified emergency of which they will not tell anyone about. So yeah, aside from that and the fact that it looks like somebody crashed an Imperial Star in Tokyo, it's pretty normal. Next, kind of creeping towards the end, we have Fukusaiji. This is, from this picture, you would think it's a completely normal temple. We have a statue of one of the Buddhas talking to children, and this is not the entirety of the temple. That is the entirety of the temple.
Oh, that's sweet.
It is on the back of a gigantic aluminum turtle.
The turtles go all the way down?
So So, yeah, it's a turtle, except it's made of metal. So the reason for this is it's in Nagasaki. The original was blown up back when this happened. So they decided we need a new temple. And somewhere along the line, they decided it needed to be in the shape of a turtle. Nobody knows why, because the original did not resemble a turtle in any way. So yeah, you ended up with this. And even more randomly, there is a giant Foucault pendulum on the inside, for no apparent reason. It is one of the largest in Asia. And even weirder, what rests underneath it? The graves of thousands of Japanese soldiers.
So what, is this thing gonna come to life and just march everywhere?
Nobody knows.
Maybe it's going to lead the zombie apocalypse.
So, accordingly, the Foucault pendulum here, if you've seen one in other places, they knock down what almost look like dominoes to indicate the passing of time. Well, this one has been structured so that every little domino-looking thing has the name of one of these soldiers on it. So, as if it wasn't creepy enough already. And we're getting there. This is Kaneji. Kaneji is pretty normal. It has the grave of a couple of shoguns there. The only thing that makes it weird is this one stone. This stone is dedicated to bugs. Apparently, the guy who donated it was a scientist. And as a scientist, he was working on pharmaceuticals and different things and experimented a lot on different crickets and grasshoppers and things. And he felt very bad. So he had this stone dedicated and inscribed to pacify the souls of the thousands of insects he had tortured and killed. Because when scientists are not making gigantic leaps in medical technology, they're thinking of new ways to torture insects. So, yeah, rest in peace. And finally, okay, this is a bit out there. I can show you this because this is ostensibly an educational presentation. Education. So, just keep in mind what you can learn from this as I show you this. This is Mara Kanonji. It is a very small temple in the middle of nowhere. And what makes it notable is what is in the middle of this circle here. And what is in this circle? Well, I won't tell you yet. The background. There was a feud between some two very powerful families back in the day, and it turned into more than just a war of words. So what happened is the leader of one of the families, afraid for the life of his son, decided to disguise him as a girl. And sent him off to live in the temple.
It's a trap!
Well, what happened was the other family found out about it, and they cut his head off.
Oh, God, no.
And for good measure, to prove he was a boy, they cut the other thing off too. So naturally what happens is this temple becomes dedicated to penises. They're everywhere. Some of them are they're like this big.
Wait, just ladies?
So
That way.
there's a lot of them. You can buy them and get them inscribed. They're just So yeah, this is what they look like up close. They're about 6 inches long, ladies. You can get them inscribed with your wishes, which ostensibly are to have a penis that big. Really, I'm not even making it up. That's what the majority of them are for. So naturally, this has become a haven for newlywed couples who go there and it's like, man, I really love my husband, but yeah.
Does it
So,
work?
I don't know. I may visit.
Jerry,
So-
let us know.
Next time people are talking to you about how beautiful and majestic these shrines are, you can drop the truth on there. Son.
Can you imagine me
The thing hanging from the string in the first picture was.
Yeah. So, now on to
You want to pull it?
the latter part of this, nerd news. So, Warcraft has been kind of going under an audit, and this independent company called Superdata has announced that their profits have plummeted 54% in the past 7 months. They are just hemorrhaging money. So, an interesting part of the study is that their microtransaction revenues have held pretty stable, whereas their total revenues, which indicates like the subscription costs and everything else, are going way down. So whether this means you'll eventually see Warcraft switch to free-to-play, that could take a long time, and they already have this very well-entrenched fan base, so you may just see new content slowly start to taper off as they start losing money. In a similar vein to disappointing video game news, or actually in MMO
Guild
news,
Wars?
we have Guild Wars 2 is getting its brand new update, Takato Rising, which promises even harder dragon fights as if they weren't.
Hard enough.
They're already okay. And even better group play, which is very needed. Some of the instances are just ridiculously easy.
Mm-hmm.
Lacking.
And this is happening.
Oh no!
Square Enix has announced that they're going to delay Kingdom Hearts 3 so that director Tetsuya Nomura can continue his work on Final Fantasy 15.
Who did not see that coming?
Because this will make both of them that much better. How many of y'all know what this is?
God damn!
This is one of the world's rarest Pokemon cards. There were only 6 of these made, and this one is in mint condition. It has hit eBay, and its starting price was $50,000.
Anyone pay for
The
it?
buy it now price is $100,000. So the guy who put it up for sale isn't expecting to get that much, but he does expect to hit the neighborhood of $70,000 to $75,000.
Any idea what the card said?
Yeah, Pikachu!
It's just a limited edition that was given out only to the press prior to the release of the actual card. So, yeah.
To the
there's-
random
there were
press.
6 of them made, and I think people know where 4 of them are.
Oh crap, where did I leave mine?
Speaking of Pokemon, the new evolutions for the Gen 6 starters have been revealed. And say what you want about what they look like, but they're there. Not gonna comment.
It's a witch. It has a broom for a tail.
I'm gonna probably rejoice.
So yeah, if you're interested, you know about that. If you're not interested, I'm moving on. Speaking of Nintendo stuff and other video games failing, Nintendo stocks have hit a 2-year low. Their stocks have actually dropped so low that they are no longer trading on the Nikkei 225, which is the top 225 companies in Japan. So, what used to be one of the biggest tech companies in Japan has now dropped out of the top 200. So, things are looking pretty bleak for them.
I know, right?
Well, they should get rid of the Japanese. Call it a day.
In better news,
Yeah!
Mighty Number 9 from Kenji Inafune, creator of Mega Man. He is kickstarting this, and I believe it's already hit several of its stretch goals and is still going. So if you're interested, if you really love classic style side-scroller Mega Man, go ahead, hit Kickstarter, fund it, or just watch
I
Valve
haven't
for it.
hit the first 8.
So he has, I think it's like a 10 to 12 minute video on his Kickstarter page explaining all the work they've done so far, and it's really cool stuff. So check that out if you're interested. This is happening in Austin at the Austin Fanatic Fest on the 19th to 26th. They'll be playing the Gotcha Man live action movie along with Hentai Comic, which I've covered before, our superhero in the G-string, and the award-winning short film Kick Heart. So if you're able to get up to Austin for this nerdgasm, go ahead and go see it. Sazae-san, long-running anime in Japan, not very popular here in the States, has just earned a world record as the world's longest-running anime series.
God dang.
45 years and over 2,250 episodes. It has had the same writer over these 45 years, but several different artists. That's how long this series has been going.
Dang.
So I believe the closest competitor is like 30 years. So that's a lot of episodes. And it's a slice of life anime. So you can imagine how many different topics The Simpsons has covered. Yeah, this has beaten everything.
Total. It's like season 476.
And it's, the important part, it's continuous. It has never taken a break. It's like, whoa. No crash this question? And you cannot have escaped this happening. Tokyo has won the bid for the 2020 Olympics, beating out Istanbul and Madrid, and also kind of quieting a lot of the fears people are having over the recent nuclear disaster and things like that. Apparently, the International Olympic Committee saw that the issue was really being well taken care of by the Japanese government, and they saw that a whopping 67% of Tokyo's population were in favor of having the Olympics there. That is more than any other city that the Olympics has ever been in.
Wow.
So, yeah, people love their Olympics. And finally, the weird Japanese thing of the week.
In comparison to what we saw,
So, this isn't exactly as weird as what we've seen already, but it is weird in a different way. So, a lot of people like collecting action figures and things like that, and they like to put them in dioramas. Makes things really cool, really realistic, and when it's done really well, it's freaking awesome. Then you have the breed of people who just want to be bizarrely detailed. These are the people who get things like this.
The fuck?
This is a little toilet. It is this big.
why do you choose that color?
They had it to scale on the
Was it at that
website.
restaurant?
So yeah, if you need to know what you use it for, there you go.
Free seashell.
As you can see, it opens up and even holds a little bit of water. And if you want to be even more detailed, you can get the matching menu. So yeah, that's it for this week.